That's my line, baby. I'm supposed to ask you, where are we?
Yes, well, today's episode is all about Brian, so I get to ask, where are we?
We are in New York City, specifically Manhattan, Times Square area. Whenever anybody asks me where I'm from, I always give them the simple answer. I'm from New York. Plus, it's, you know, it's cool to be from New York. But the truth is actually much more complicated than that. So I've lived all over the country, but I've always called New York home. And as much time as I've spent in this city, I've never been to the Statue of Liberty. That is, until today. So I was actually born in the suburbs of New York, out in Long Island. Most of my family lives in a city called Hicksville, and it is just how it sounds. I didn't actually grow up out here, but this was kind of home base for every time my dad had a tour of duty. We would spend a little bit of time in Hicksville between duty stations. So we would stay here for a little while, and then we would move to Alabama for a couple years, and then we come back, stay here for a little while, and then we moved to upstate New York for a couple years, came back, lived here, and then we went to Texas for a few years. You get the idea. This was always home base.
I am Amanda. Brian is my cousin. My mother and his mother are sisters. Spent many summers together. You were very unique.
So this is Jones Beach. It's about 10 minutes away from where my family lives in Long Island, and we used to come here all the time, especially in the summer. I have nothing but fond memories of this place. This is so awesome. I'm glad I get to take my little girl to experience this with me.
She's so excited. She just wanted to run on the beach, and she didn't quite get it until we got her swimsuit top on, and then she got super excited. Oh, let's go.
Brings back memories. The last time that we went to Jones Beach, you were telling me about memories there.
Yes, yes, I do. You and your brother did not want to get touched by the sun whatsoever. So you guys had on your long shorts and your shirts, and you had towels wrapped around your bodies and your arms and your legs and all the way around your head, except for little tiny slits here that you could see your eyes. It was quite comical.
The biggest claim to fame of Hicksville is that Billy Joel, the singer, is from this town. And interesting thing about that, he went to school with my mom and her brothers. He was in a band actually with my uncles. And I don't know what happened where he's famous and they are not. But there's a little bit of resentment. There always has been in my family. Maybe it's just because he was successful and they weren't. I don't know, but if things had worked out differently, I might be related to Christy Brinkley. That'd be kind of cool. One of the things we used to always do when we come back to New York or Hicksville is we'd go to Carvel Ice Cream. It's a Northeast ice cream chain that is just delicious. And we would come every time we'd visit. And yeah, we're gonna go check it out right now. Smells like childhood. What do you think, baby?
It's ice cream.
I think Alyssa likes it already.
Yeah, she's getting excited. She knows what's going on.
Oh, baby, what'd you think?
It was delicious.
Yeah, it's Carvel. That's my hometown ice cream. You know, it's funny. I was thinking about this as we were sitting in there. Like all my memories from childhood have to do with food. It's it. It's like ice cream, and then there was a pizzeria that we used to always go to. That's a lot of pizza.
Yes. And no, I'm not delivering them. So guess what? These two are mine.
What's so special about this pizza?
It's gluten-free, and one of them, the big reveal, is not only a gluten-free crust, but penne alla vodka pizza. So this is like gluten-free pizza, gluten-free pasta, gluten-free cream sauce with vodka in it. Yummy. It is the best gluten-free pizza I've ever had.
Yeah, I got no childhood memories that don't involve eating. Surprise. You know, it's funny up here in Long Island. I remember in high school I took a class called Big Apple Studies, which is interesting when you really think about it. We live out here in suburban New York, and we take a class that tells us all about the city of New York, the 5 boroughs, Manhattan, etc. When people ask me where I'm from, I tell them I'm from New York. I don't really claim to be from Hicksville or Long Island because I have more, I think a greater love for New York City than Long Island.
Right.
But the truth is, you know, it's not a bad place. You know?
It's not, no.
It's nice. I got family here, and you know, we've had a good time, right?
We have.
I did spend my first year of high school in New York, and I remember that the kids that I was hanging out with back then, they all were interested in being on the wrestling team, trying out for the wrestling team. I wasn't much of an athlete, but I was real susceptible to peer pressure. And so they were like, Brian, you gonna try out for wrestling? I was like, well, yes, let's do it. Turned out I really liked it. It's the only sport I ever really got into. And then I moved to Texas, and the high school I went to down in Texas didn't have wrestling. So that was the end of my brief foray into athletics. They did offer computer classes, and I had friends that were into Dungeons and Dragons, and then, you know, the rest is history, and I'm a big nerd.